Hi, this is Asa, and welcome to my audio experience. It's a new prescription for a new you, America. Let's talk about it. Talk about your health and talk about your life. That's what this show is about, encouraging you to go from where you are to where you need to be and giving you the practical tools to be able to deal with that. Alan in Lexington, Kentucky will kick it off. He says, I've been diagnosed in an email with degenerative disc disease. What do you recommend? Well, DJD, or degenerative disc disease, happens within the spine. And that happens when you have a disc that's between two vertebrae, two of the bones in the back, if you will, and when there's degeneration that happens between that. Now, it can happen for a variety of reasons: poor posture, sleeping improperly for long periods of time, being in a car accident, never having that dealt with. Kind of get up with a new place with your health. They can come up with treatments and therapies. There's laser therapy that is phenomenal. There's treatments that they can do that are non-invasive. Distraction is a really good treatment as well. But also don't forget that your nutrition has to be really good. And that's where a really good team comes in around you to kind of take you to the next level. And a good nutritionist, wellness providers, anyone that can coach you along and come up with a good game plan can really be helpful. But you have to have that. And you don't want to just wing it, as I like to say. You need a plan. And you work the plan. That's where the success comes from. And it's not just taking muscle relaxers and hoping for the best. And unfortunately, that's pretty much standard. That cortisone injections or some form of injections, pretty much standard in our standard medical system. It just is. It's all we know. So that's why some of these alternative, and really I don't like the word alternative because it's pretty standard. It's just spinal care. And when you look down that road, you can see a really good result, but it takes some time, and you need a good evaluation from someone that you can trust, for sure. 888-283-7272. Lines are open. With questions about your health, shoot me an email. I'll be glad to make it part of the show. Don't forget Facebook and Twitter on there as well. Robert, you're next on the show. How can I help, my friend?
Yes, sir. How are you doing this evening?
Living well. What's up?
Okay. Now, my vocabulary isn't the best in the world, sir. So I'm going to try and explain this and talk to you the best that I can about it.
That's okay.
Me and my sister both have optic nerve atrophy, and we both have juvenile diabetes. And she also has a condition called hemihyperthesis. That's where one of her breasts are larger than or her right side is larger. You know, hemihyperthesis, where her body is larger than her left on her left side and right side. It's a weird scenario, sir. Anyhow, let me get to the point here with what I'm trying to tell you. We were both contacted around the year 2001, 2002. Now, what does this sound like to you, sir? How would all of those things have taken place with brother and sister?
Okay,
how could that have taken place with a family? Hemihyperthesis and optic nerve atrophy, and it wasn't a genetic optic nerve atrophy, sir. It was a poisoned optic nerve atrophy. We were told in the year 2002 that the Marine Corps of the United States of America, Camp Lejeune, the base at Camp Lejeune was completely contaminated, sir, from the years of 55 to 87. Okay. I was born there in 79. My sister was born right off the base in 78. I was born at the Naval Hospital, sir.
Okay.
I've had my claim in now for 12 years. A tort claim. The military is not allowed to sue, but as family, we could tort claim. We've been waiting for 12 years now.
Yeah. Well, I think that a couple of things. First, I'm grateful for your service, one. Let me just start by saying that. The optic nerve, first of all, there's a lot that can happen to the optic nerve, okay? There can be viruses that attack it, bacteria that can attack it throughout for whatever reason. And, again, those reasons are unknown many times. It's just when that happens, all you can do is kind of go for the treatment. And from a natural perspective, there's not a whole lot you can do because at the end of the day, when you're dealing with the optic nerve, you can take care of the nervous system from more of a preventative standpoint. But once something attacks it or once you have an issue with the optic nerve, the most you can do is cut down inflammation in the body. That's a big key. And the other issue is to make sure that when you're dealing with something like this, that at the end of the day, you've got a good team around you, which is critical. You always want to have a good team that can coach you, a good ophthalmologist that you can work with for sure in this case. And I'm sure they're providing that maybe at the VA hospital or whoever you're dealing with there. If not, you need to find one, ask whoever, the internal medicine doc or whoever's working with you, that you need to have a good one. I'm sure they've provided one. But again, it comes down to cutting down inflammation in the body. But when you're dealing with the optic nerve, okay, optic neuritis or anything like that, when you've got an itis, it means inflammation. So cutting down inflammation in the digestive tract is a big key. The reason that it happened, that's a tough one because I don't know the entire history. And that would take quite a bit of time to talk through. I'm sure you understand that. That's why the physicians that are around you at this point really is your best bet. At this point in time, because they're going to be able to, they know the history. They can walk with you through this entire journey and kind of take you from where you are to where you need to be. So that should be the game plan. But at the end of the day, one thing you want to focus on, one thing you want to understand is that you or your sister, they don't have to be stuck. There is hope out there for your health to get better. It's just about coming up with a game plan, cutting down inflammation in the body, following an anti-inflammatory diet, one of the best things you can do. And you're dealing with nerves, especially protecting the nerves. You want to look at the myelin, which is a protective sheath around the nerve. And there are great nutrients that can help that. Matter of fact, goat's milk yogurt or goat's milk, raw goat's milk, and even raw cow's milk can be helpful. There is a milk sugar called galactose that's in there. A little bit different molecule of sugar and a little bit better on the goat's milk side. But we know for a fact that the galactose milk sugar is one of the key ingredients to rebuilding and manufacturing myelin in the body. And so a lot of times that can be very protective or nerve protective or neuroprotective. And the other is plenty of essential acids such as cod liver oil or good omega-3 fish oil. High amounts of DHA fish oils can protect the nerves when you're dealing with a neuritis of any kind. It's really, really important. So from a nutrition point of view, from a medical point of view, I could sit here and name medications and whatnot, but they've got that handled. So I think you're looking for the root cause. The root cause is only, it's going to be up to your doctors because, again, it's tough to decide. But here it is. And so dealing with it is coming up with a good game plan moving forward, not relying on everybody else, but for you coming up with a solid game plan for you to really be able to be successful. And you can win. You really can. But it comes down to making a decision. And I know it's kind of like you're frustrated at the system and frustrated that this has happened. But a lot of times don't focus on the problem so much as focus on the solution because you'll waste so much of your energy in the other direction when you can focus so much on regaining your health. We'll be right back. Healthcare costs are rising, and I know how hard that can be. Hi, I'm Asa, here to tell you about my good friends at Liberty Health Share. As a doctor, I'm always looking for the best options for taking care of people's health, and that's exactly what I found with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is not insurance. It's a bold approach in lowering health costs and paying medical bills while helping your fellow members. In other words, your monthly sharing contribution goes to help others' needs. How awesome is that? Personally, I've been a member of Liberty Health Share for years because of their biblical principles and their commitment to keeping healthcare costs down. It just makes good sense. See how you can benefit from being a part of the health community that puts faith, family, and friends as their number one priority. Call my friends at Liberty Health Share today at 855-585-4237. That's 855-585-4237. Or visit at Liberty Health Share online at libertyhealthshare.org. That's libertyhealthshare.org. Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to asarx.com and get your free called the Wellness Provider Network. And we want to encourage you that if you need help and you're struggling and you've been looking around trying to find someone that can help you go to the next level in your health, to get in touch, these wellness providers are amazing. And it's amazing to me to see them growing every single day. And so we want to encourage you there. So go from where you are right now to where you need to be. You need someone to take you by the hand and to get you there. And it's one thing to have the education, one thing to have the inspiration, but it's another one to have the application every single day. When the times get tough, and it will, because let me tell you, you get fired up. You want to change your health. You want to drop 30 pounds, and you said, I'm sick of taking 8 medications, and enough is enough, and I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I want a new prescription for my life, and I'm ready to change. Well, that's great, because when you get fired up, it's great, but you've got to have someone to help carry it out. And there's going to be days when you're on the mountaintop, and there's going to be days when you're in the valley. And when you're in the valley, that's when you need that voice of reason to remind you and to give you the tools that you need every single day. And so, great team of providers that we're growing around the country to get you there. And remember, you don't have to be stuck. Remember, this is the 80-20 rule, which I like to call it more the 90-10 rule. It's really about 10% head knowledge and 90% behavior. So when you really want to stick your heels in the sand and make a stand, these folks will be able to help you. The Wellness Providers Network. You can give them a call during the day. The number's online. Go to getwellproviders.com. Acupuncture, they say, may be worth a shot for COPD. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. But right now, we're going to take off and go to Jody. Hi, Jody. Welcome to the show. How can I help?
Well, I've been having a problem with ringworm. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Okay.
And I've tried some of the weirdest stuff. I've tried vinegar, toothpaste, fingernail polish remover, Gold Bond, antibiotic. I've tried everything, and it just isn't going away. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger. It started off about the size of a dime, and it just keeps getting bigger. You got any good advice for me?
And you've been to the doctor, I guess, so far, and just been giving you some cream and all, and it hasn't really worked?
Nothing's worked.
Yeah. And you've been doing that for how long now, the cream?
Well, off and on, it's probably been about 2 years, and it'll kind of almost go away, but it never goes away.
Right.
And then, you get all these great people that say, well, I would put fingernail polish remover on it, or I've heard Colgate works, or, so I've tried everything.
And nothing seems to cut it.
No, nothing. And it's really painful. It's getting to where it keeps me up at night even. It's so painful. And,
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, a couple of things. Ringworm, remember, it's typically coming from the gut. It's not coming just from the skin. Whatever shows up on the skin is typically happening in the digestive tract. And so that's where you always want to tackle issues. I always am kind of a big fan when you start clearing out the gut, and most nutritionists will tell you this, that it's good to, of course, use things like probiotics and digestive enzymes to help break foods down and to kind of put the good bacteria back in the gut. It also helps clear out yeast-related issues, fungal-related issues, potential parasitic-related issues, some great things that are out there that you might want to look into that are known to be helpful. Oregano oil is really good, wormwood, black walnut, all of those are very helpful. And your local health food store should carry most of those. They can be extremely helpful as you're going through this deal. All right. So that's one thing. Now, the creams and all that, can they help? Sure, they can help cut down on the itching and kind of the irritation. But remember, most conditions are coming from the inside out, not the outside in. So you have to tackle it from that mindset. Now, the other piece, too, are the foods that you're eating. Okay. Now, if you're going to cut down on these sorts of things and work on clearing the gut out, a big piece of this is making sure you cut back on the foods that create a lot of inflammation, number one, but also that can create a lot of food allergies in the body. If you stir up inflammation and you stir up issues within the gut, that's when you're going to have some major issues. So cutting down on your breads and your pastas, your cereals or crackers, a lot of the flour-based foods is a big piece. And then also cutting down on milk products, all right, especially homogenized and pasteurized, cow's milk, dairy, and whatnot. That can be a big piece too. So you might want to look into a couple of those things and see how things go. Okay, 888-283-7272. Lines are open. You can go online, shoot me an email. I'll be glad to make it part of the show. Jody, actually, Barbara, you're next with us.
Sir?
Yes, ma'am. How can I help?
Well, I've got a question about water. I've got a reverse osmosis system in my home, and have always drank reverse osmosis water. And I have a friend who is selling the Kangen water systems, which have the alkaline water, and she's kind of driving me crazy about it, and everyone else as well. You know, telling us we're drinking rocket fuel and that we're drinking dead water and how bad it is for us. And I'd just like your opinion on the alkaline water and if that's what we should be drinking or if we should be drinking reverse osmosis.
I'm just excited. Let me just preface this by saying I'm just excited you're drinking water. And then it's not tap water, okay? So is the Kangen water good, the alkaline water? Sure it is. I mean, anytime you can make the body more alkaline, you're going to win. You don't want to make it too alkaline, though, because that can cause a host of issues, too. That's what they don't tell you. When you get super alkaline, it can cause joint-related issues, arthritis. It can also cause extreme constipation. All right, so there's a balance. But reverse osmosis is great, too. Distilled water is fantastic. Stay away from tap water. Go easy on the spring water because the inorganic minerals. And, of course, tap water speaks for itself. You've got everything under the sun in tap water, which you want to stay away from. But, I mean, should you buy a Kangen water unit? That's up to you, okay? I'm not going to be the pitch guy for that. And that's just, again, if your friend's driving you crazy, maybe you ought to think about getting one just to show the love. But is it good water? Yes. Is it going to radically transform your health and it's like the silver bullet? Not so much. I'll keep you posted on that, though. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to chow? It's time for Keto Chow. When it comes to eating healthy, the keto diet has become one of the nutrition leaders in optimizing health, losing unwanted weight, and reaching your health and wellness goals. No extravagant cooking, no long kitchen cleanup, and most importantly, especially for me, it's convenient. Just put quality Keto Chow powder in a bottle, add some heavy whipping cream or your favorite fat, a little water, and boom, shake it up and you're ready to chow. Keto Chow tastes amazing. So make Keto Chow easy for you and your family today with Keto Chow. Let's go chow. Visit Keto Chow online at ketochow.xyz. That's ketochow.xyz.
To find out more, visit the show online, InShapeNetwork.com.
Phone lines are open, 888-283-7272. Welcome back to the show. This is your show. It's a show where your health is your greatest wealth. You know, acupuncture, they say, I don't know if you've followed this much, but people talk about it now more than ever. Matter of fact, in the medical schools, we are teaching it more than ever. It's in the standard medical text now, and everyone's learning about it, which is a good thing because it's been around much longer than our system has as far as medicine goes. And the Chinese that have been using it and came up with it for so long have just seen tremendous results. So they say that it may allow people, as a new finding, with lung disease, COPD, which is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, to breathe a little bit easier. This is really, really interesting. So COPD is, and they're doing more studies around this, which makes me excited because, of course, the more studies they do, the more they can prove it works. But COPD is the umbrella term for chronic lung diseases, including chronic bronchitis and emphysema. It's often marked by a chronic cough and shortness of breath. Treatment typically involves the use of inhaled steroids, bronchodilators, to open airways and make breathing a little easier. Well, in a new study of 68 people with COPD, some got acupuncture along with their daily medication for 3 months. Others got a sham acupuncture treatment in which the needles did not enter their skin, and those who received acupuncture along with their daily medication for 3 months were able to walk longer without becoming breathless compared to those who got the sham acupuncture treatment. The study appears online in the archives of internal medicine. People who received real acupuncture also showed improvements in their quality of life and ability to exercise, according to researchers from Kyoto University and Meiji University of Integrative Medicine in Japan. Many people with COPD have problems getting optimal nutrition because of their condition. The study showed that acupuncture may improve stomach function, making it easier for people with COPD to eat and get a healthy diet and maintain a normal weight. Exactly how acupuncture improves symptoms of COPD is not fully understood, but researchers speculate that needling the acupuncture points in the rib cage area may help relax muscles involved in breathing. There's also acupuncture meridian points, which make a huge difference. Now, this makes perfect sense to Tongan MD. He's a professor of anesthesiology at Duke University Medical Center in Durham, North Carolina. It also may help reduce anxiety levels, he says. When you become breathless, your anxiety goes up. So relaxation is another possible explanation for the benefit. But acupuncture has been shown to release chemicals that relax the lungs and dilate the airways, he says. Clearly, it looks like a viable alternative to treat chronic COPD, and the downside is so little and the upside is so huge that acupuncture is well worth a try for those who find it difficult to control their COPD despite medications. If you try to do it, you got your two camps. Everybody wants to go either all natural or they just stick with a traditional medical route. And I don't think it's smart. I think it's very smart to stay on the path, stay on track, and really kind of modify yourself in and get the best of both worlds. Because when you've got a serious chronic condition like this, the medication will help stabilize you. Does it heal you? No, but it stabilizes you so things stay under control, whereby you can get other methods and treatments that can help you along the way. So something to think about, definitely, as you're going through this. But acupuncture is coming on strong, and for so many different areas, it's exciting to see, especially for me. I just think it's really, really a cool field if you've ever studied it yourself or ever had it done. Now, you can do it with the needles, of course, but there's also acupuncture that can be done with lasers. And they've made little small 635 nanometer lasers that the little head of that has the same frequency as that of an acupuncture needle and can get the same work done. So pretty cool stuff. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. That is the phone number. You want to give me a call? I'll be glad to take your call as part of the show. And our Wellness Provider Network is a team of trusted professionals that believe in natural and nutritional lifestyle-based care that we talk about here on the show. And they're in your area. So make sure to get in touch with our Wellness Provider Network team. And we can always, as we're having people grow every single day, have someone that can coach you along the way to your health goals. All right, Marlene, you're next with us on the show. How can I help?
Good evening. How are you doing tonight?
Living well, darling. How can I help?
Well, I'm 50 years old, and I have alopecia. And my hair started thinning when I was, like 19, and every time I had a baby, I have 3 children, it got a little bit worse. And it's to the point now where I've been wearing a wig for like the last 20 years. And I'm dealing with it. I'm not as concerned about myself, but I have a beautiful 22-year-old daughter who's losing hers at a much more rapid pace than I was. We've been to a dermatologist it's probably been a couple of years now, and they really don't have anything to offer. They're just like, there's really nothing we can do about it. So I was just wondering if you've heard of anything natural or holistic or anything. I kind of feel like mine's probably too late, but I'm hoping there's something that maybe we can at least stop the progression of hers, if not, gain some back.
No, I understand. Have you made some radical changes, and have you gone after the fungal aspect within, some serious diet changes? Have you done that for yourself or her?
I've been kind of lazy about that. I think because
lazy.
I've approached that with doctors, and they all say, "Oh no, it doesn't have anything to do with it." So I haven't.
Well, that's because
that's
what we're taught. That's what we're taught in medicine, and that it has nothing to do with it.
Okay.
But from the alternative side, in more of the natural-based thought that's out there, is that it is fungal-based, and that there is a genetic component to it, but there's also can be a fungal component to it. So there's a couple of theories out there. And have there been formal studies and all that in the journals? No. But, if you read a lot of things based on Eastern medicine and based around more naturopathic medicine, there's been a lot done throughout the years that have helped people along the way. But there's no silver bullet. But I will tell you this, dietary changes can make a difference. Will they change everything? I can't tell you that because everybody's different, but if you're telling me, well, I've been kind of lazy with that, I would get really aggressive. I mean, you're not going to lose anything. You're only going to make your body healthier by making those kind of choices. Wouldn't you agree? Especially your daughter.
Yeah. So you're saying like, well, I know I'm bad on sugar, and I know sugar is just poison to my body, but I'm like so addicted to it, and I do feel like if I would cut that out, I'm sure that would have some kind of a difference. She's not so big on, she is kind of big on sugar, but she's tall and thin.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are those the things, you're talking about just going to a more natural, organic diet, period, right?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, and you want to cut down inflammation in the body, and you want to follow foods that will, you've got things like fungal infections that can happen within the gut, parasitic infections that can happen within the gut. All of those can be a little bit challenging. So, that within itself is something you want to look at. The diet that I have in my book is called the anti-inflammatory diet, and it's in my book, Empowering Your Health. So that's one thing you might want to look at and just take a peek at and see how that kind of goes with kind of your mindset, I guess, if you will. And the reason I'm saying that is because if you haven't made changes dietarily, I could sit here for 30 minutes and tell you a million things to change, but that's why I wrote the book, Empowering Your Health, which you can get at empoweringyourhealth.com. But when you understand that, and I love the fact you said, well, I've been lazy and no, I really haven't gone that route, because that gives you a lot of hope. Because if you haven't really done that, now it gives you a chance to kind of step up and do that and see how your body responds. But it's not just eating more vegetables. There's a science to it, and there's a method to it. And that's what I want to encourage you to kind of do and to look into, okay? So that's the piece that we want to look at. But I would definitely look into the book, look into the diet, and just kind of understand those pieces. I go into more detail with it in my Empowering Your Health program. It's an 8-CD audio series too, which you can get at the same website. So just a couple things to think about. But I would get on point and on mission for you and your daughter, because even though she's not a big sugar eater and she's thin and all that, we're not talking about thin and weight loss, because you can be thin and be very unhealthy on the inside. So it's about getting the health back on the inside of the body, where it starts within our choices, number one, and then what we put inside of our body, number two. That is the real key. All right, 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Questions about your health, you can also go online. Kevin, you're next with us on the show.
But I've got what feels like in the center of my chest below my sternum, feels like there's a knot there. And I guess I've got two questions. One is, I've got a little bit of a medical background, so I'm wondering, that can sometimes be a sign of cancer. With all the blood work that they run, would my white blood count be high on that?
Could be. But is it running? What's it running right now?
Well, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but everything came back normal.
Well, if it came back normal, then I probably wouldn't worry too much about it. Get into
Connect with On Call Radio and watch On Call TV at InShapeNetwork.com.
Lines are open, 888-283-7272. Welcome back to the show. You can also go online. We'll be glad to make your question part of the show. We were talking with Kevin going into the break. Kevin, you were concerned about your heart, but you're concerned about maybe cancer too, just based on the possibility of your blood test and all, but the blood test was normal. So what have the doctors told you so far?
Well, the doctor, my cardiologist, told me that the echocardiogram came back normal. The stress test came back normal, said it was actually above normal. And he went ahead, because I was having palpitations, they told me I had 6 PVCs and 665 PACs in a 48-hour period, which he said wasn't overly concerned about. He put me on cardism, 240 milligrams, and it's pretty much took care of it. But now it feels like I was telling you earlier, I've got a knot at the end of my sternum. I've done a little bit of reading on it. They say it can be cancer, but it could be like a cyst or something like that, a calcium deposit. And I don't really know which route to go other than, of course, I'll see my regular physician. But I was just wondering if you think, in your years of experience, that sounds like something that could be possibly cancerous to you.
Well, I mean, have you, so your doctor hasn't looked at it yet, right? It's not.
Not my cardiologist. He wouldn't look at it. I told him, he just said follow up with my regular doctor, which I called today, and she wasn't in, so I'll call her tomorrow.
Does it hurt?
Yeah, but it's not a constant pain. It doesn't hurt as much when I lay down as it does standing up.
Does it move around? Like, can you move it around, or is it fixed?
No, I can't move it. It's solid on the end of my sternum.
Hard or soft?
Hard.
I mean, but it is a little painful.
Yeah, it's a little painful. It kind of feels like there's a knot in my stomach, but I'm still eating fine. No diarrhea, nothing like that. I don't.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it. I don't think you have too much to worry about, but I would just have their doctor look at it. Painless. I would just have them take a look. But don't sit there and worry yourself. The worst thing you do is get on Google and start looking around. And like you said, you have kind of a somewhat limited medical background. Okay, well, don't start looking at things because it'll get your mind all freaked out. And it's probably nothing, especially if the blood tests were all normal. I would just go in there and let them take a look at it and just see, and then go from there. Have you had really bad lifestyle habits, or do you eat pretty healthy? Do you exercise?
I exercise. I'm a EMT and firefighter, so I do exercise. I don't eat real bad. Most of my stuff I eat is turkey.
Mm-hmm.
Drink water. Don't drink a lot of Coke.
Right.
But I guess that's the main thing I did was I started looking at some of my EMS books and seeing different things, and of course it got me nervous right off the bat, being 40 years old. And just wanted to see if you had any ideas what you thought. Other than that, I'm just going to follow up with my doctor.
Yeah, I would just follow up. That nothing jumps out at me with that. And again, just based on what the textbooks say and what clinical experience says. Typically you got to take a look. Anytime you have a bump or something that's kind of raised up, you always want to have somebody look at it. And once somebody can take a look at it, they can give you a really good thought on it. The one thing is, don't get something already set in your mind. Because again, the mind will play tricks on you. You know what I mean? The mind will play tricks on you, and it will also get you worried, and you just get all worked up, and you think, gosh, I just know this is going to be, whatever. And then many times it's not. Let the doctors do the concern, because, our job, and when you're in a clinical practice, is to always think worst first, because that way you kind of deduct down from that. And once you get that in your mind, then you can work your way back and then come up with a decent game plan and a good diagnosis. So anyway, I just would go see them and not be overly concerned. Okay. If they check your blood test again, which they probably will, and they're doing the test, ask them to run vitamin D levels on you at this point. Vitamin D levels are pretty critical, and I would want to know those numbers. If they're really low, that might be a good indicator. Just something to think about, because that could be an indicator for calcification and for low immune system function if it is low. And it's low with most people. So just get it checked out. I think it'd be a good addition that your doctor probably wouldn't mind running, but that's just a couple of thoughts there. 888-283-7272. Lines are open. Questions about your health, you can send me an email, getwellradio.com. Quote for the day, Dennis Waitley says, the reason most people never reach their goals is that they don't define them or ever seriously consider them as believable or achievable. Winners can tell you where they're going, what they plan to do along the way, and who will be sharing in the adventure with them. And that's very true. All of our goals have to be written down. They have to be well defined, or we just go aimlessly like a ship that has no course, and it's true. So if you really want to achieve something in life, you have to set goals, and you have to know where you're going. You have to have solid foundation of where you want to be, and you have to have a good solid game plan, and you have to build a team around you that can help you get there, because it's tough to go somewhere by yourself. It's always powerful to go somewhere when you have a team around you that can walk with you in these sorts of things, and that's where you achieve the true success. So when it comes to your health, remember this, that whether it's achieving your health goals of losing weight or not having diabetes anymore, or being fed up with being depressed and anxious and you're tired of taking all the medications and you want to start exercising more, coming up with a new lifestyle game plan, it comes down to you. Nobody else is going to do it for you. You have to take responsibility for your health in your life, but you have to write it down, define it. There's something powerful about writing your goals down and then seeing them be achieved. And you can do it, but you have to make a decision that you really want it. That's the key. Puts another hour in the charts. I'd like to thank our producer and the rest of the team. I'm your health and lifestyle coach. Go tell one person something you learned on this show, and together we can change the health of our friends, our families, and our communities. You're listening to the show that helps you get well, stay well, and live well, where we're diagnosing hope one person at a time.
Did you know you could listen to the ASA RX audio experience on Spotify and Pandora? For all the ways to watch and listen, check out our show page at asarx.com/experience.
Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to asarx.com and get your free book today.
This episode is over, but check episode notes for links to products and services you've heard about on this episode. Thanks for listening and subscribing. Please share the ASA RX audio experience with others and stay in touch by giving us your comment or review.